The release of Star Wars Outlaws marks what I like to consider is the start of the big video game push that normally happens towards the end of the year. This year we obviously have Star Wars Outlaws, we also have Emio the Smiling Man, we have the casting of Frank Stone, we have Astrobot, we have Silent Hill 2, we have the PS4 version of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, we have the new Legend of Zelda game, Echoes of Wisdom, we have the Until Dawn remake, the list goes on and on. Today I'm here to talk about Star Wars Outlaws. I am actually very mixed on this game, as like I mentioned in my Lego Star Wars 2 review, I'm not like a massive Star Wars fan. I'm actually quite behind in terms of the Star Wars world. Like, I haven't watched Andor, I haven't watched Acolyte. I think the last series I watched was Ahsoka, so I'm quite far behind. I haven't even watched much of the animated stuff at all. But Star Wars Outlaws I had my eye on, mainly because I am, I guess, a fan of Ubisoft games, so I thought this Star Wars game made by Ubisoft should be right up my street. But after playing a chunk of this game, I just feel quite mixed on the game, more so than I have on any game that I've reviewed so far. Before we go any further, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, as I will be doing videos similar to this one on quite a lot of the upcoming games. A couple of the big ones I have in mind that I'm going to be doing is Assassin's Creed Shadows, as well as the Silent Hill 2 remake. Star Wars Outlaws was developed by Ubisoft Massive, who previously worked on Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and they subsequently brought over their weather tech from that game into Outlaws, and that can be seen on the Sahara planet called Tashara. The game is published by Ubisoft, and the game is being advertised as the first open world Star Wars game. The game was released on August 30th, 2024 on the PS5, Xbox Series X and S and PC. However, if you pre-order the gold or ultimate edition of the game, you got 3 days early access. The story of the game follows Kay Vess, who after a job that goes wrong on her home planet of Kanto, now has a bounty on her head from Sliro, who is the leader of the Zerek Besh crime family. Kay's new goal is to recruit companions in order to help her pull off the ultimate heist, which sees Kay stealing something from Sliro, and upon doing so will allow Kay to buy her way to freedom. The game takes place during the time span between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but while playing the game it doesn't make much of an impact, aside from the fact that the stormtroopers can be found on the planets that Kay goes to, and when you speak with Jabba the Hutt on Tatooine. One of the main draws to Star Wars Outlaws is the reputation system. This is a feature within the game that allows Kay to side with various factions while on quests, and depending on who you side with, you will gain access to areas run by each of the syndicates, as well as new skins for Kay's blaster and gear with special perks, as well as discount at certain stores. I'm very mixed on the story for the game. As for the opening chunk of the game is relatively linear, as after the tutorial section on Kanto, you get to the next main planet, which is Tashara, and you are unable to leave the planet and its orbit for quite a while until you fix your ship, and you're on this planet for around 4 to 5 hours. And you're basically doing fetch quests for people on the planet so you can get a part you need to fix the hyperdrive on the Trailblazer. Up until this point, I was not completely sold on the game's story, and some of the missions does not help to change my mind. Primarily, the forced stealth mission the game requires you to do. The moment in the game that finally hooked me was the final mission on Tashara, and it sees Kate making her way through a crashed ship for a part she needs for the Trailblazer. And it wasn't until this mission, which according to the PS5 was a third of the way into the game, that I started to enjoy myself. Another part of the game that I'm mixed on is Kay herself. After playing the game for close to 10 hours and playing, once again according to the PS5, close to 50% of the game, I don't really know who she is as a character. To me, she just seems like every generic main character in an open world adventure game. Even though Kay is supposed to be a scoundrel like Han Solo, I never got that vibe from her. The gameplay in Star Wars Outlaws doesn't fare that much better, as for me the combat I found painfully easy. This is probably down to the fact that the enemy AI in the game is painfully brain dead, as you can run up to them and they won't aggro onto Kay for a couple of seconds, and in that time you can just take them out relatively quickly. Also, the combat isn't that in depth either, as Kay has a blaster which has 3 different bolts that she can use to do certain things, but in combat you'll most likely be using just the regular blaster bolt, as that works quite well. Aside from combat, you will be doing quite a lot of exploring on the planets Kate journeys to. The planets are fine, fine, but from my quick inspection of them, they are quite lifeless at times. Like, when you first land on them, if you haven't done the accompanying story missions, you can't really do much on the planet apart from collect collectibles. And you need to get to a certain point on the story of the planet that you can actually start unlocking things. So that's why for quite a lot of the chunk of the game, I spent quite a lot of time on Tashara, as I had more things that I could do there. While exploring, you can also find locked doors that Kay can hack into, and the hacking minigame in Star Wars Outlaws is quite unique compared to other games where this time it is more rhythm based. While exploring the planets you don't run out on foot, you can also use a speeder that Kay has access to, and this can be upgraded so you can upgrade your speed and the boost. Along with upgrading the speeder, you can also upgrade Kay's ship, which is known as the Trailblazer. The Trailblazer is, like I mentioned, Kay's ship, and it's the way Kay can traverse between planets, the planet orbit, as well as other places in the game. Overall, I enjoyed using the Trailblazer to explore, but I did feel like the kind of controls left a bit to be desired, as I just felt like they were quite, I guess, stuck in the past, which is a way I would use to describe this game as a whole. If I had to sum up my overall thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws, I would say that this game feels like it was supposed to come out like 2019, 2018, that kind of time period, as quite a lot of stuff in the game it just feels quite outdated. For example, the parkour is essentially ripped from Tomb Raider / Uncharted, but it is just very, very easy, as all you do is just you move the control stick, press X, and Kay automatically goes to the handholds. And also when Kay jumps, her jump is very strange. It doesn't have weight to it. She feels quite floaty, so that kind of took me out of the whole parkour system as well. But yeah, to sum up my thoughts on the gameplay, it's passable, it's fine, but it's nothing to write home about. So to summarise my thoughts, would I recommend Star Wars Outlaws to someone? I would not at its current price point. I would wait until the game is on sale, and then I would happily say if you want to play the game, get it, but I would not pay the like $70 asking price, as for me it is not worth it at all. But thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.